Hello once again. Now, I wasn't entirely sure what to make of this at first, and I'm not really sure if this is legal or not. I'm not sure. And I believe this is one of Ren's friends behind the video. And a lot of you have asked me to make a reaction video. But if the truth is told, I haven't got the faintest idea how to do that. I do know, or I did know, people who could help, but sadly I've become something of a persona non grata. I mistook acquaintances for friends, and that, as they say, was a hard lesson to learn. Now, I've been a rebel all my life and probably paid the price for it. And now I suppose I'm a renegade too, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So no, I'm not set up for a polished reaction video, but what I can do is play this clip on my laptop and give you a running commentary afterwards. So here goes.
There's a very obvious and real shift happening right now, and I see it in music, I see it in the general sentiments of people in social media. And it's that people are becoming so exhausted with the hyperpolarized, constantly arguing state of politics of the left and the right that they become disillusioned with the whole thing, and they just they're sick of it, and they want something different. They want something better than an outdated dinosaur of a power structure that leads to blatant abuses of those power, that leads to exploitation. People are starting to look around and go, you know, like every fucking year these politicians talk about how they're going to solve homelessness, rising poverty levels, rising electricity bills, rising cost of living, lower work standards, and yet it seems that every year, no matter where you are, these things seem to get worse, and yet we have these billionaires parading around telling us all that things were going to get fixed and making empty promises, right? And it can sometimes feel a bit hopeless because the loudest voices on either side of the aisle are often the ones that are the most extreme. But don't let that make you think that people aren't balanced. The majority of the population, either side of the aisle, are actually quite balanced people. It's just that the loud ones are the loud ones, right? And then they're the fucking angry, fucking goblin-thumbed individuals who are sharing divisive talking points really loudly, right? And the fact that a lot of people are putting their hands over their ears and refusing to listen to each other means that a lot of nuance gets lost in these conversations, and we start to forget our humanity. But I'm just wanting to put this story up to remind you that a lot of people are balanced, and a lot of people just want a better way of life, right? And we want to move away from these dinosaur political structures into something a little bit better that works for everybody else. And I think it's a global sentiment right now. And I feel like the more of us that believe it's possible, the more likely it is. But first we have to start collectively asking the question, what does it look like? Human beings are one of the most unique species because we have the ability to create, right? We can create something new, and that's how all of this works. That's how I'm talking to you through a screen. Through the human mind is incredible at creating new things, and I think that we need a new decision-making process, and I think the power of collective thought can do that. And it doesn't have to be a messy exchange of power. It doesn't have to be tearing the system down. All it has to be is building a new model so that the old model becomes obsolete, because the new model isn't serving the populace, it's serving a very small minority. It's very obvious. So we need to start asking that question. We need to start believing that it's true. And that doesn't mean falling on outdated previous proposed systems of the past. It means building something better, something new. We've got new technology. Let's use it. Let's build something exciting. Let's go.
Okay. What I truly admire about Ren is his honesty and integrity, qualities that shine through every note and every frame. And beyond that, his creative borders on brilliance. He's not just a musician, he's a visionary, and with Vincent Starry Night has proven himself a perceptive filmmaker as well, and a first-class production, without question. And there is a notable shift happening these days. People are actually waking up, or at least some of us are trying to wake those people up. And the public mood is changing, especially among those who have grown weary of the mainstream media's propaganda, that endless stream of establishment nonsense People are hungry for something real, something beyond the two-headed political beast that's been steering this ship for far too long. How could those in charge possibly understand what real life looks like from their ivory towers, built on ill-gotten gains? Now, I think it was Robin Williams who joked that politicians should wear their sponsors' logos like Formula One drivers. At least then we'd know who owns them. But of course, the real powers, the real players, the lizards, as some people call them, prefer to keep crawling in the shadows, censoring and controlling from behind the curtain. And yes, as always, the loudest voices are the ones allowed to speak, while the rest of us are silenced by all manner of digital manipulation, the kind of electronic jiggery pokery conjured up by billionaires who trample free speech in their pursuit of control. And that, my friends, has to change, even if it means boycotting certain platforms and standing behind those who seek the truth over algorithms. Of course, we all want a better world, but that really begins with massive change, real change, radical if necessary. And perhaps it's time we looked at direct democracy. And I'll leave that idea to you to explore. It's not just a dream, it happens in some countries. And yes, we all know the type, the keyboard warriors hiding behind anonymity, venting spite and bile because they got nothing better to do. But amidst all that noise, the human spirit still shines through. Our creativity, our ability to imagine and build. And Ren embodies that beautifully. His voice carries honesty, pain, and hope. Things we all need more of. So perhaps share his work with other people, spread the word, and maybe, just maybe, the band of renegades will keep growing. And just remember this, the internet may be a fountain of knowledge, but without wisdom it becomes a poison chalice. So thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.